Right, let's get one thing absolutely straight before we even begin. Welcome to the Grade Makeover Kitchen. I am your master auditor, and today we are tearing down and rebuilding your approach to Cambridge AS and A-level Mathematics 9709. Listen, you already know the mechanics syllabus is a pressure cooker. It's demanding, it's intense, and it leaves zero room for sloppy prep. But today, we're shining a massive, blinding spotlight on one specific area to absolutely rescue and maximize your grade yield. Unit 4.5, Energy. Think of me as your premium culinary grade critic for the next few minutes. I cannot stand weak structural layouts, missing command words, or undercooked analytical logic. We're going to break down the exact mathematical framework and the highly specific, high-tariff exam strategies you need to master this topic. We're looking at this directly from the perspective of the people marking your papers. So put on your aprons, clear your stations, and let's get to work. Okay, let's dive into this immediately. I want you to look at this quote. It is straight from a senior examiner. They are flat out telling you that Unit 4.5 energy, which covers the core ingredients of gravitational potential energy and kinetic energy, is routinely one of the most misunderstood, misapplied areas in the entire syllabus. The stakes here are incredibly high. Every exam season, I sit down with what I call the raw essay text, the actual student responses, and I have to take my harsh red digital pen and slash through line after line. Why? Because the response tastes sour to an examiner. The difficulty almost never comes from the raw numbers. It comes from the fact that students completely fail to interpret complex texts, they fail to translate physical scenarios into a workable data format, and they completely misapply the mathematical architecture. But don't panic. We are going to fix that right here, right now, by reverse engineering exactly what a Michelin star perfect score response looks like. Here is our kitchen prep sequence for today. We'll expose the energy trap, define our core ingredients, run a methodology masterclass, audit 3 massive examiner warnings, and finally, give you the ultimate 5-star plating checklist. Let's move to Section 1, the energy exam trap, and Section 2, defining our core energy principles. Right, let's look at our raw ingredients on the prep table. Gravitational potential energy is defined as mass times gravity times height, mgh, and kinetic energy is 1/2 times mass times velocity squared. Now, I run a workshop with 2 apprentices. Let's call them Alex and Sam. When Alex sees these formulas, he completely overcomplicates the recipe. He takes these massive piles of raw, unanalyzed definitions and just dumps them onto the exam paper, hoping something sticks. But you can't just throw raw ingredients at an examiner. Mastering these 2 foundational equations unlocks the entire 4.5 energy syllabus, but it's not about rote memorizing the letters. It's about the causal relationship. If I adjust the heat, the height in this case, how does that proportionally affect the potential energy? If I double the velocity, how does that exponentially explode the kinetic energy? Grasping these precise shifting variables is the very first step to cooking up a high-tier grade. Look at the difference here. On one side, we have the standard rote definition. This is what apprentice Alex does. It's an isolated, unseasoned paragraph. It's raw. On the other side, we have connected conceptual understanding. This is what lights up the Michelin dashboard in an examiner's mind, tracking those assessment objectives right up to a perfect score. You see, top-performing candidates achieve those premium mark bands because they actively reference cross-topic connections. They don't just see a kinetic energy formula. They connect it to kinematics, they link it to work done against friction, and they apply the conservation of energy to completely unfamiliar, highly complex contexts. They are cooking the data down into a clear, cohesive argument. If you just memorize the formula, you're serving up raw flour and expecting me to call it a cake. You must show the connections. Moving right along to Section 3, the Methodology Masterclass. Now, what is really profoundly interesting about this breakdown is how it visually proves the ultimate heat control formula for your exams. Look at that massive 80% slice. 80% of your grade is labeled process and method marks. Only 20% is the final answer. Let me be brutally honest with you. My other apprentice, Sam, is a fast cook. Sam rushes the preparation. Sam creates a beautiful, perfectly formatted final sentence at the very end of the page, but completely forgets to show the core procedural steps demanded by the question. Listen to me. Showing your working acts as absolute grade insurance. Even if your final calculated answer is completely, totally wrong because your finger slipped on the calculator at the last second, demonstrating the correct procedural method secures the vast majority of your marks. The method mark strategy is everything. You have to show me the kitchen prep, not just the final plate. To secure every single one of those method marks, you must rigorously follow this standardized sequence. We're talking systematic processing here. Step 1. Identify the key elements. Extract the mass, the initial velocity, the height from the text. Step 2. Apply the relevant principles. Step 3. Execute the analysis with crystal clear working. Step 4. Verify the results. Step 5. Present it. Now, I literally watched Alex and Sam debate this in the workshop yesterday under strict simulated timeline conditions. Alex wanted to overload the layout with heavy, dense terminology terms, totally clogging up Step 3. Sam fought back, trying to build a direct analytical logic string to secure the high-tier marking bands before the kitchen timer hit empty. And you know what? Sam was closer to the truth. You don't need fluffy essays. You need a direct, unbreakable chain of logic that matches the examiner's core parameters, step by step. They rewrote their thesis statement 3 times live on the board before they realized, keep it lean, keep it logical, and show every single step.
Kitchen freeze, stop whatever you are doing. Before we unlock this 5-star paragraph structure to completely transform your final grades, we need to optimize your revision recipe. Take a second right now to subscribe to Ace the Exams at the handle @Ace the Exams and hit that notification bell so you never ever miss our weekly grade makeovers, whether you are cooking up results at IGCSE, O-levels, AS, or A-levels. Okay, timer's back on, back to the board. Right here is where my apprentices hit a massive structural roadblock. Their evidence links completely dropped out mid-paragraph, leaving the text raw. Evaluative thinking is how we fix it. You must extract data from the texts and tables, question the assumptions of the physical model, and justify your mathematical decisions with solid evidence. Don't just tell me the energy changed, prove to me exactly why using a flawless structural matrix that blends your numerical facts with your physical evaluation.
Let's move into Section 4, the audit. So the crucial point here is avoiding the fatal, absolute disaster errors that we see time and time again. There are exactly 3 of them. Let's run an interactive viewer taste test, Serena, right now. Challenge 1. Spot the poisoned sentence. I want you to imagine a flawed, medium-tier student response. The math is okay, but it tastes wrong. Why? First, the answer is too vague. An examiner's red pen will strike right through a general statement. We want specific, localized details. Second, the student completely forgot to check the format and presentation. A mathematically brilliant calculation string means absolutely nothing if it is a chaotic mess on the page without proper units. It drops your overall score instantly. Third, and this is the absolute biggest kitchen nightmare, the answers are not specific to the context given. If the question gives you a specific dynamic model, like a car on an inclined slope, your analysis must reference that specific slope, the specific friction, the specific variables. Context is king. Here is a brilliant high-value memory hack to act as your recipe accelerator. Create an acronym for the specific factors affecting gravitational potential and kinetic energy contexts. For example, memorize CFV, context, format, variables. Whenever you sit down in that exam hall and the clock starts, write CFV at the top of your paper. It is your ultimate chef's cheat sheet. It will mentally force you to ensure you have specific context, perfect presentation format, and all the correct variables defined before you hand over your paper to the examiner. Let's move to our final section, the final exam checklist. This right here is what we call the 5-star plating. Alex and Sam finally got this right. They ran their response through this exact matrix, and I watched their Michelin dashboard meters max out to a perfect 100% score. Here are the universal rules for the pass line review. First, deconstruct. Break down the question's command words. Second, extract. Pull only the high-value data. Third, select. Choose your precise analytical framework. Fourth, execute. Show your clear, undeniable mathematical notation. And finally, present. Plate it up with the exact correct terminology and units. This 5-star methodology absolutely guarantees compliance with assessment objectives across every single cognitive domain Cambridge throws at you. I want to leave you with this provocative thought as we close out the kitchen tonight. Knowing for an absolute fact that method marks can and will save your final grade, how are you going to fundamentally change the way you show you're working on your next pass paper? The choice is yours. Are you going to serve up raw, unformatted data, or are you going to deliver a structurally perfect Michelin grade response? Listen, if you want to keep dominating these topics, you need to subscribe to Ace the Exams at the handle @Ace the Exams right now. Click that notification bell so you never miss our weekly grade masterclasses. And right now, I want you to drop a comment below sharing exactly which Cambridge subject and level, whether it's IGCSE, O-level, AS, or A-level, you're preparing to conquer next.
Get back to your prep stations, keep analyzing those concepts, and I will see you in the next explainer.